In May 1945, the Soviet army entered Berlin and Hitler was officially defeated. Hitler committed suicide and that was the end of his goals. But if Germany had not been defeated, what would be the fate of the world today? What would have happened if Hitler had won World War II? What was the fate of each country and race? Throw away everything in your mind and join Dark Fact because you are going to be amazed by the world under Nazi rule. Dark Fact. Number 5. Producing the largest space mirror or sun gun and placing it in the Earth's atmosphere. Undoubtedly, this was one of Hitler's strangest and scariest ideas. The Nazis decided to send a mirror with 2 km long into space to orbit the Earth with a space of 36,000 kilometers. The idea was like a boy burning and killing several ants with the help of mirror. The purpose of this plan was that whenever any country anywhere in the world angered the Nazis, they would not need to attack a normal way and just turn the mirror towards that country so that the sound wave could easily and without any trouble cover that area with people and turn the city, village, and farm into ashes. If the Nazis won, they would build this mirror and the whole world would have to live with the fear that a big mirror is on their heads and it might burn them at any moment. Do you see that bright area on the ground? After this radiation of this mirror, it will find such a situation. Number 4. Terrible captivity of Eastern European people. We all know that the Nazis were looking for the genocide of the Jews, but the genocide did not end here. The Slavic people of Eastern Europe were the next race to be exterminated. The Nazis believed that the Slavs and their culture should be removed from the world. Their first plan was to destroy the Slavic leaders. In line of this goal, the Nazis destroyed those Russian leaders who might encourage the people of Eastern Europe to resist the Nazis. If the Nazis had occupied Russia, they would have undoubtedly sent 31 million Slavs to Siberia to suffer in concentration camps. The rest are sold as slaves. Their lands were entrusted to 10 million German immigrants to start a regional race in them. In 30 years, 50 million Slavs were to be killed or enslaved. Almost all men of Eastern Europe were doomed. Well, my friends, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and support us. We need your support. Number 3. Shooting Gandhi and the Dark Future of India. In 1938, before the start of the war, Hitler told the British Foreign Office that it would be better to attack Gandhi, and if that did not work, to kill several Indian leaders like Gandhi to quell the riots. Hitler considered Indians to be a worthless race that should be dominated by Aryans. After the war intensified, Hitler's hatred towards Indians gave him opportunities. An Indian leader named Subhas Chandra went to Berlin and asked Germany for help in revolting against Berlin. But Hitler's prejudices in demeaning the Indian race did not allow him to support them. After Hitler's rejection, Chandra went to Japan and asked for their help, and it was decided that India would become part of the areas under Japanese rule. But Hitler did not like this Japanese work. If the Third World War occurs between Japan and Germany, and the Germans defeat the Japanese, Hitler intends to massacre the people of India and return this country to the date. Number 2. Capturing all British men. The war was intensifying in Europe, but the British avoided getting involved in it. Hitler, who expected the British to enter the war in their favor, got angry with them and planned plans to destroy them. Hitler planned to force all British men between the ages of 17 and 45 to do hard labor in Europe. British women and children had to stay at home until boys under 17 were brought up and sent to forced labor camps. Their properties were also confiscated. This was a terrible plan, but even more terrible was that Heinrich Himmler, Hitler's deputy, believed that he should kill 80% of the population as soon as he captured Berlin. Number 1. Allowing Muslims to rule in the Middle East. It is surprising, but it must be said that Hitler supported Muslims. He and Himmler believed that although Germany is a Christian country, Islam is more compatible with their beliefs than Christianity. At first, he promised Italy, another ally, the ownership of the Middle East, but he changed his mind after the start of the war. Hitler had developed a special interest in the Mufti of Jerusalem, Haj Amin al-Husseini, because he had told Hitler that our enemies are common to you, British, Jews, and Communists. Husseini told Hitler that he could attack Berlin in a fascist uprising, but Hitler told him to wait until the end of the war with the Soviets. But during negotiations, they decided that al-Husseini and his rebels would kill all the Jews of the Jerusalem area at the first opportunity. After the Nazis were defeated, Hitler blamed himself for not approaching more to the Muslims. Hitler said that we could liberate Muslim countries. Just imagine what would happen if we set them free. If he won the war, he would do this. He would turn the Middle East into a land where fascists and Muslims can live together. This was almost the situation that would have existed if Hitler had won. Do you know that the Romani people were castrated in Germany so that they would not have children and their dirty generation would not spread? Of course, according to the Nazis. The fate of Indians was clear after the victory of Nazis: genocide and slavery. The Jews and the Slavic race of Eastern Europe were also condemned to captivity and slavery in forced labor camps. Of course, he said that he had nothing to do with Muslims and the Middle East, but if he won, he would definitely look for non-Aryans in the Middle East to destroy them. However, what do you think about Hitler?